Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad you're here this morning. Got a great show lined up. But first, our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin and Highway 77. I'm not going to give the air temperature first today like I always do. I'm going to give the water temperature because it's breaking news. We have water temperature now that hit 60 degrees. It's the first time it's hit 60 this year. And here it is the first week in March, and it's going to start that slow creeping up, and we're looking at that magic number 66 or 67, somewhere right in there. We'll get all kind of activity. Someone called me last night about we've already had 3 fogs now. Where's the Spanish? I know it's been foggy every morning so far this month, but what has happened, I told them we're just going to count this as one big fog. So this March 1st through 30th is one big fog, so we're not going to count that as 3 separate fogs. So that's one there. Okay, high today is going to be 71, and low tonight now is going back down to 41. We got about a 60% chance of rain throughout the Panhandle, almost 70% other areas. So be aware of that. It's going to be getting back cool. River readings. Take a look at our river readings. The Apalachicola Bluntstown has gone down a good bit. It's reading right at 12.3 now. It's gone down a lot, but it's still in double digits, 12.3, and I believe it's going to stay on in double digits all the way through the weekend of the river system. Okay, the Choctawhatchee River is a slow decline on it. It's falling out. It's reading a 9.0 this morning, and by Saturday it's going to get down close to 7. So it's going to be a little high over there. So just be aware of that. The tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn Funeral Home and Cemetery. Looking on the screen there, we have we talked about this yesterday. Today is March the 5th. We have these neap tides that set in. No tidal flow for the next 3 or 4 days, so be aware of that. The marine forecast northwest at 10 to 20. All right, that takes care of our weather. We'll come back with our special guest. All right, welcome back, and welcome to our special guest, Kenny Bostwick. Good morning, Kenny.
Good morning, Winston. How are you?
I'm doing great, buddy. Kenny, one of my dear friends, and see each other quite a bit, but especially on Sunday mornings and all. But Kenny just has this passion for turkey hunting. I know we talked about turkey hunting yesterday with Ronnie, but I want to bring a real person. Not Ronnie's not real, but one that does a lot of turkey hunting, and I've known him a long time. And Kenny, how's everything going?
Doing great. Looking forward to the spring.
Okay, we've talked about this before. You don't turkey hunt around here, or used to.
I did when I was younger.
Yeah.
And then we ended up buying a farm up in Missouri, and just a lot of turkeys up there and very little pressure.
Well, first of all, people are going to say, why aren't you in Missouri now? We got a picture here. This is why you aren't in Missouri. So
that's exactly right. Why be up there when it's 5 degrees when you can be here at 60 to 70?
Okay. Well, what got you, you and I about the same age, what started you in turkey hunting?
Well, I've always liked to hunt. I lost my dad when I was just a young fella at 12. And when I got back from Vietnam, I was in the Navy, and I moved back home, and I got on at Arizona Chemical. And I had a supervisor out there named Kenneth Broadnax, and he was an avid turkey hunter. And he asked me if I wanted to go turkey hunting with him, and I did, and from there it just took off.
You got hooked, huh?
I did. I enjoy deer hunting, but I do have a passion. I'm talking about a passion for turkey hunting.
I can tell. I know every time I talk to you and get pictures from you. So he taught you how to turkey hunt?
Right. He moved here from Louisiana when he was just a young man, and his grandfather had taught him how to call up turkeys with a peach leaf. They didn't have all these mouth collars and box collars back then in the early 40s, and he had to learn how to call turkeys with what was available. And back then, they would grab a peach leaf as they headed out to the woods, and that's what his grandfather called up the turkeys with.
And then he came down here and got a job.
Yep. And, they moved here from Louisiana, and his dad got a job in Port St. Joe as a plumber, and then he brought his family here, and then he just took off, and he was just one of the best turkey hunters that I've ever known.
It takes a lot of patience. He did other outdoor stuff too, you said.
He did. He loved to fish. He was just unbelievable sportsman.
Yeah, there's always seemed to be some male figure in our lives. If we're avid outdoorsmen, there's always some male figure that sort of got us introduced to it.
It was, and I don't know, he was just a good fella.
Yeah.
Just loved the outdoors, and I don't know, if you ever if you're ever able to go out and hear that turkey gobble, and then you're able to yelp, and he comes up to you from there on out, it's just unbelievable.
I've got a couple more pictures. We're just going to go back and forth, but let's talk about this particular turkey here. Tell us about this one.
I had a good friend of mine, Mike Truca, that I had met up in around our farm in Missouri, and he was a young fella, and his family had 5,000 acres out in Nebraska, and he always wanted to take me turkey hunting out there, but Mike lost a battle about 3 years ago to esophageal cancer. His good friend that he grew up with took me to Nebraska to that farm, and I called up that Merriam turkey. Years ago, I went to Texas and called up a Rio. So over the years, I've killed Easterns, Rios, and Merriams, but I'm yet to kill an Osceola, and that's my next project.
Okay. We need to talk with Stan Kirkland, because he goes down there a lot in South and Central Florida. Talk to him. We've got to find a place for you to get that. I got one more picture here. With this, tell us about this picture here.
Well, you know, predators are our main. You just really have to keep them under control, because if a raccoon finds a turkey nest, they won't eat just one egg, they destroy the whole nest. And normally a hen will lay between 10 and 11 eggs, and the FWC, or just up there, the Conservation Department says if you're able to have 1.5, not even 2 poults to make it out of a clutch, it's a good year.
Wow.
And I could not believe that, but they say it's a good spring when a hen has her hatch if 1.5 poults survive.
Wow.
And it's not only, it's possums, raccoons, and coyotes are the biggest predators.
Yeah. A lot of other farmers up there try to take care of the predators.
They do. A friend of mine where I get the traps for doing these catching the raccoons, he's a trapper.
Okay.
And he's trapped since he was 12 years old, and he traps for about 2 months. And this year he told me he got 300 raccoons.
Wow.
Yep.
And that's they're really healthy up there this time of year.
It is.
And the pelts really.
He sells the meat, and also he tans the hides, and then he sells them.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yep.
We're going to take a quick break and come right back with Kenny. All right, welcome back. Glad you're with us this morning. Sit here with Kenny Bostic, turkey hunting extraordinaire. The man loves turkey hunting, so I want to bring on someone that really does a lot of it. Now, you were at Arizona Chemical a little while, but you ended up at a post office.
I did. I got out of the Navy, like I said, and got on with Arizona Chemical. I was out there about 3 months. I got burnt real bad. I was laid up with 2 weeks with burns.
Yeah. And
then the post office called me, and they hired me, and because I was a veteran, I got a few points added onto my score, of which I needed. And then I've retired from 38 years with the post office.
Very good. 2 grown kids?
I have 2 kids. I have a daughter that lives in Destin, and our son lives in Orlando, and both of them have a boy and a girl.
Okay, and I see them sometimes at church. Over there last Sunday morning.
Yep. Oh yeah. Grandkids.
Y'all keep them busy.
I told my kids they were fortunate that I had them before I had our grandkids.
That's true. Okay, we got some pictures you brought. Let's look at some of these pictures here.
This was the first turkey I ever killed. This is Mr. Broadnax, and you can tell back then they didn't worry too much about camouflage clothes. He never wore a face mask. He never put any face paint on, but this was the first turkey he called up for me, and it was out on G.U. Parker years ago.
All right, yeah. Those old timers, if they saw us now, my dad could see us now going hunting and all, they would just shake their head, I think. Is that all right? All right. What about this next one?
This picture here was Mike Truca. This was my buddy that I said passed away from esophageal cancer, and to look at that, you would never have imagined that he was sick.
Yeah.
We both called up a turkey that morning. His weighed 14 pounds, and I beat him by 4 ounces. I mean, it weighed 24 pounds, and mine weighed 24 pounds, 4 ounces.
Wow.
And he never could get over it. The average turkey up there weighs between 22 and 24 pounds.
Wow.
A Jake will weigh 17. Mr. Broadnax said of all his turkeys, he only killed 1 in our area. Back then, nobody fed with corn.
Yeah.
And he said back then his heaviest turkey was 19 pounds, and I guarantee you he killed a truckload of turkeys.
Wow. Wow. All right, let's look at this next one and see what we got here.
This was one of the gobblers I killed this spring. He weighed a little over 24 pounds. I put up an old windmill that I had bought from a farmer, and we always hang them on the windmill and weigh them and take pictures. And I tell everybody, take pictures because pictures are forever.
That's
Memories
true.
fade, but pictures are forever.
And I tell you what, we're seeing a lot of, so many of us are taking pictures with our phones and everything,
Yep.
and if you don't back them up, and I've already heard some horror stories where that people have lost their pictures because the phone whacked up or they destroyed the phone accidentally. So, okay, it's the next one here.
This was the second. Up there, you're allowed 2 turkeys each spring. The way Missouri works, it always opens on a Monday. And if you kill your first turkey during the first week, you're not allowed to hunt again till the second week. And that way, everyone has an equal opportunity the first week to kill a turkey. But I always love opening day because it's just exciting and very little pressure.
Opens on a Monday.
Always opens on a Monday, closest to the 21st of April.
That's interesting. And you only get one that week.
You only get one that week.
I like that. Okay. All right, the next one, let's see.
This turkey here is my son and his best buddy. This was John's first gobbler that he had ever killed. And they came up together and both of them doubled up. And I was trying to get it on video, and they shot it before I could actually get the turkeys. They were so excited when the turkeys came out, they both shot it. And this is my son's little boy, Blake. He always comes up to the farm. He just loves it up there.
And they come all the way up from Orlando?
From Orlando.
Yeah, and that was his first turkey. Well,
he lives in Iowa.
Okay, good deal.
Yep.
One of the things you were telling me is that we're going to talk about a caller next segment. Okay, there's got a couple more pictures.
This is the only turkey up there I've ever killed in the fall, mainly because I enjoy the spring hunt more. When you call them up in the spring, it's just you and that turkey. And if you ever get into it or able to go with anyone that has called up a turkey, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But in the fall, you more or less break them up and then call them back to you.
All right.
And that's the only one I've ever shot in the fall.
You and Martha there. Tell us, we have a lot of ladies watch the show. Tell us how you and Martha met. This is a good story.
Yeah, people just wonder, but 40 years ago, Martha came down here with her cousin from Missouri, or she was from Illinois, but her cousin was from Missouri. And they came down here and went out to the Sheraton out on the beach. And we met in June and got married in August, and it's 40 years. And that's one reason we ended up buying the farm, because when we go up there, I get to hunt, and then she gets to visit her family.
Visit family, okay. Yeah, that's a good story. And you also do some deer hunting.
I do.
Up there, because now I show you pictures. I don't know if y'all remember, I show pictures when you send them to me, I put them on. And you watch the show sometimes up there on YouTube.
Oh, I do, on YouTube.
Okay,
Sure do.
Check this out here.
This is one of the nice bucks. That's the first 10-point I ever killed. And this is my family. The only ones in it's not is my daughter. She's not in it, or my daughter-in-law, but these are our grandkids. We have one more since then. But like I say, pictures are forever. This was quite a few years ago. And but that's a nice 10-point I shot.
Nice big buck too.
Yeah.
Now your son-in-law up there in the middle, he's from Panama City.
He is Todd Burke.
Todd Burke.
He's over in Destin now.
Yeah, he's a lawyer over there.
He is a lawyer over there.
Okay. And the final pictures.
Yep. This is my son's nicest deer he's ever shot. It's a big, nice 10. And this is his little boy Blake.
Blake's got that. He's posing for a picture. That's a good job there. Well, that and I guess you go up there in April, and how long do y'all stay?
Usually around 2 months in April, April and May, and then we go back up in September and October, and in November is their deer season, and so we pretty well spring and falls, and it's really the prettiest time.
Yeah.
Winters are hard, and summers are hot.
Is it hot up there?
It gets hot. Plus, why be up there when we have all the streams to kayak in and the bays and everything?
Well, I know that's the other thing. You enjoy kayaking.
It's just a lot of fun. It really is. The Wakulla River is a beautiful river to go up. You see manatees and alligators, just all kind of wildlife. And so is Cypress Springs. It's just beautiful springs right out of Vernon.
Yeah.
Just so many close places to go and kayak.
Right here in the Panhandle.
Crooked Island, beautiful. And on a good day with our kayaks, we go out in the Gulf.
Yeah. I'm
not a big fisherman, but it's just so much scenery to see.
Okay. We're going to take a final break, and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back to the final segment of Panhandle Outdoors. Sitting here with Kenny Paulstick and talking about turkey hunting and deer hunting and just outdoors in general, how it got started. And like we said, there's always seemed like some male figure somewhere along the line. Even as a grown man, sometimes people take other people in and teach them the outdoor stuff. So it's
now I've sort of found out it's time for me to take other people.
That's right.
My grandkids are just other people to get them involved.
Ken, we talk about it over and over with guests about, especially when we get our age and all, how much we enjoy taking other people outdoors.
I do enjoy it so much, especially deer hunting. Now I'm a little apprehensive about my turkey hunting because it's special, but but I still enjoy. It's just fun to see the excitement when they shoot their first deer or their first turkey, and it's just amazing.
Let's take a quick look at our fish and game forecast brought to us by Mark Coward of Edgewater Beach Realty. Mark's number is 832-6000. We're on one of those days again where we have just one time right in the middle of the day, 11:51 to 1:51. Okay, I got a quick email here from Mike Purdue. Let me read this. This is a good email. I appreciate all the emails you folks send to us. You remember Mike Purdue? If I was going to bet on anybody to win a speckled trout tournament, I would bet on Mike Purdue. He's fished for a long time, and he is good. And he watched the show every morning. Okay, so hey Winston, I enjoy the show. We have lots of good stuff. I had a good winter fishing this year. These bayous now have lots of fish in them. That's good to hear.
Yeah,
there are lots of fish in them. Parker, Pitt, Callaway, and Cook Bayou. The trout will be moving around soon. The water temperature has been a steady 54 to 55 degrees at 6 foot. Now, we've been talking about it being 58, and that's the surface temperature, but Mike does it about 6 foot lower, it's about 54 or 55, so that's pretty cool. It's been that way for the past month, but it will warm soon. Fish early for big trout. I wanted to send this story to Mike Ware, wrote back in February 28, 1991 in the News Herald. I know you like the pompano fish, and this is the article he sent. There's a copy of Mike Ware did the outdoor article for a period of time before Scott Lindsay and had Al Hubbard that did a series of really good outdoorsmen, and I read that. It's about spring fishing, really good. He said, hey Winston, I fished Crooked Island Sound for over 30 years, night and day. Never have I had a problem with the security at Tyndall. I appreciate what Tyndall does for the land out there. I believe Tyndall should be able to do what they need to do when they need to do it. Good fishing, Mike Purdue. Mike, thank you for sending that. Appreciate it. Okay, now let's talk about calling these turkeys. This is an old caller here, looks like.
Yep. This is a call Mr. Broadnax used to make. Like I said, when he was just a young fella, he used to peach leaf. And then he moved up to making cedar boxes. And an old man from Warrior, Alabama, Edgar Brown, built this box, and Mr. Broadnax copied it. And it's just a cedar box, and then Lynch came out with box calls, and since then it's just mushroom. Everybody makes them now. But it's just a good cedar box. And Edgar Brown moved down here from Warrior, Alabama, and when you would go in his house, completely around his living room was turkey tails of turkeys he had killed. But this is all he ever used, was just a cedar box.
Yeah.
But we all, everyone uses a different call. They've got so many out. There's different people in our community. Country Boy Turkey calls. A fella here builds them. And they're an amazing mouth call. So there's just so many different calls.
It takes a certain talent and a certain craft to be able to do that. But some of these guys have done it. And it goes back generation after generation where they pass it down.
It does. And the turkeys I called up for my son and his friend, it took me over an hour to get those turkeys in. And I think more than anything, it's turkey calling, being around them, but patience is a virtue.
Yeah.
I've got up many a time and left, and then come back, and the turkeys where I were when I left, they were right back where I started.
Yeah.
So I've just learned as I've got older just to be more patient.
Yeah, Ronnie and I were talking yesterday, and he likes to go early in the morning too, and that's when they're more active and all. But he also says sometimes in the middle of the day, sometimes they'll go. Are you just a morning hunter, or you do it at different times?
I'm like Ronnie. I love it more in the morning because they're more active, and it's just you and them, and it's just your best opportunity. But I have killed up a lot later in the day. But I predominantly hunt them early in the morning. But sometimes I'll be up there at my cabin working, and I'll hear one gobble down in the woods. Luckily, I hunt right behind my cabin, and I just take off, grab me a box call and my gun, and take off.
That's the way to do it. Drop what you do when it goes.
Just go. Yep.
Now, when you do that, how close you try to get to them?
Well, that's where you learn. Most of the time, and up there it's real hilly. So you can get up one hill and then slightly try to ease up and then yelp to them and see where they're at. When they're really on fire, when you yelp, they gobble right back, and it's just so exciting. Until you really get there, you don't understand. But once you get there, it just gets in your blood.
Well, what kind of gun do you use?
I use a 12 gauge. It's amazing the different shells they've come out with. Winchester has came out with a brand new shell called Longbeard, and I got a box of them. I like to call turkeys into 20 or 30 yards. I call them, Mr. Broadnax said, son, let them come and get in your back pocket if they'll get in your back pocket.
Yeah.
But I have patterned these shells, and believe it or not, these new shells are good out to about 60 yards.
That's exactly what Ronnie, he was talking about that shell yesterday. He talked about 50 or 60 yards, which is an ultimate advantage when if you get them that close in. I mean,
and I like to use the red dot scope, mainly because it keeps you down on your gun, and people are bad about before they pull the trigger, they look up to see if they've killed a turkey, and they've missed it.
Yeah. Now, do you, what kind of camouflage? You set a screen up or anything? Or
I like to put up a blind. I've got, I like to put up a blind mainly so you can videotape.
Okay.
And young hunters and new hunters, you can move around and not be picked up as easy. Years ago, you just had to back up, get in some palmetto bushes or back up against a tree. We didn't have all the good camouflage. A lot of times I was out there in a pair of blue jeans,
Oh, okay. We got, those two items I was supposed to have today. I was supposed to bring. I couldn't find either item. One item was a picture of me, you, and Bubba Martinez with a bunch of wood ducks who were much younger men. I couldn't find that last night. And then we got a video. Speaking of videos, but we're gonna get those videos and maybe show one day some of your turkey hunting up there. But I know you enjoyed it. You're getting ready to go up there pretty soon.
Yep, pretty soon. And here I think it comes in the end of March.
Yeah.
And I know everybody will be starting to go out and listen for them to gobble.
That's right. Kenny, thank you so much, buddy.
Enjoyed it, Winston.
Appreciate you coming on. Folks, as always, thank you for watching our show. We really appreciate your viewership. You do something good for your fellow man today, and God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.